better go to Senate.
Are y'all okay with me taking my mask off? Okay. What you want? It's a little warm in here, Chief.
Okay, I found mine. There's mine. Okay, yeah, I think I wanted to do one more.
Yeah, that's fine. Look, what's the little thing? Good afternoon, everyone. I am now calling the Joint Budget and Finance Committee meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting to order. It is Monday, August 14th, and the time is 3:31 p.m. Committee members, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a motion for approval?
I move approval.
All in favor say aye. Aye. The minutes from the last meeting have passed. The next item is consideration of the consent agenda. Councilors, do you have any items you would like to place on consent?
Yes, ma'am.
Council Abbott.
I would like to place item 4 on page 1. Items 6 and 7 on page 2. Nothing on page 3.
Okay.
On page 4, items 11, 12, and 13. And on page 5, items 14, 15, and 16. And on page 6, item 17. And on page 7, item 19.
And we need to amend that amount by adding $5,000 from District 2's discretionary funding to make the total amount $255,000.
Well, I'm still okay with it being on consent if everybody else is.
Yes.
So that was item 19 on page 7.
Yes.
Then on page 8, items 21, 22, and 23.
For
I
item
think
number,
23 has an amendment also.
yes, that's coming from my discretionary funding, $10,000, and the new total is $85,000.
Who's discretionary D3?
Ma'am,
Who's discretionary?
that's mine for 23. Mhm.
Okay, 24 and 25 on page 9. '26 and 27 on page 10. I guess, and 28 on page 10.
Okay.
So I think that's all of them except 29.
All right. Madam President, do you have any? Okay. Just to go through those items again for consideration of consent, item number 4 on page 1, items 6 and 7 on page 2, skip over to page 4, items 11, 12, and 13, page 5, items 14, 15, and 16, on page 6, item 17, on page 7, item 19 as amended, on page 8, items 21, 22, and 23, item number 23 as amended, page 9, items 24 and 25, and then on page 10, items 26, 27, and 28.
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. The consent agenda passes. So if your items are placed on consent, then you're good to go. Otherwise, the first item is item number 5.
Yes, so Madam Chair, before you bring up, I'm sure that this item,
Yeah, we're good.
the seat. Sorry. Thomas, usual to present the item, but, just to quickly update the council and the committee that this item was before you guys back in April from allowing us to go after this particular grant. We were definitely awarded the grant, and this is the implemental stage, just accepting the funds, and I shoot it over to Mr. Yule.
Good afternoon, councilors. My name is Thomas Yule. I serve as Deputy Director of the Mayor's Office of Resilience and Sustainability. Before you is a request for allocation of funding so we can begin drawing down the $1 million that we received from the EPA through their climate pollution reduction grant to complete a regional climate action plan. This plan will allow us to complete a regional climate action plan based on various sectors that produce greenhouse gas emissions and identify measures that would reduce those emissions, especially focused on low-income and disadvantaged communities. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them at this time.
Yes, Counselor Abbott, do you have any questions?
Yeah, specifically, I'm sure we know which neighborhoods we're focusing on, like is North Birmingham included?
Absolutely.
Or is it already done?
So we are focusing on the entirety of the metropolitan statistical area. We are leading that planning effort. Within that, the MSA, there are what the federal government has identified as particular census tracts that have environmental justice concerns. Those are the census tracts that would have particular focus on them. However, the plan is for the entire MSA.
Okay, so we'll know, for instance, if it's polluted in North Birmingham, the pollution will blow over to South Birmingham, and we'll be able to actually find out how much of the pollution makes it and how much of it drops off on somebody else on its way over.
I'm not sure I can speak to that specificity. I will say that we will be quantifying the greenhouse gas emissions per sector across the MSA.
So we'll be monitoring in all the sectors of town. We're just focusing on the ones where people have been mistreated in the past.
We will have emphasis on those areas.
Okay. Same difference.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Madam President?
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure I'm clear, because I needed clarity on like where this
Yeah.
is specifically going to be. So in this document, I was kind of looking to see that's listed out, or is this something that's still part of, we've got the money now,
Yeah,
so we have
correct.
to plan.
So this is the actual start of the plan,
Okay.
so they will be able to drill down on where it will benefit them.
And how would you know, are you gonna give us some feedback, or how, what timing is this where we could start to be able to at least advocate for, or just be aware of where this process is going? Can you give just a little bit of timeline?
Sure. So there are two major timelines to be aware of. First, March 2024, we have to have a preliminary climate action plan completed, which would focus on one sector. And then in August of 2025, we would have to have the entirety of the plan completed. And then 2 years, for the following 2 years after that, we would just have to do monitoring and implementation and reporting back to the EPA.
I apologize, I think I did see that somewhere.
No problem.
So thank you. All right.
Counselor Abbott?
One more thing. So we're going to test, and we're going to determine where our problems are. Does this include any mitigation of the problems that we find, or are we just finding problems?
So, yes, it is a plan. So just to be clear, it is a plan. First phase would be understanding where the emissions are coming from. Second phase would be understanding what measures could be used to reduce those emissions and by how much. So that second phase, I think, kind of answers that question, which would be identifying the measures that could reduce emissions.
Okay, so phase 2, are we looking for grants to?
So that's all, so this is just the first phase, kind of the plan A, 1A, 1B. But then we got to have more money once we find the actual reasoning of the emission testing So we got to have more money in order to reduce that negative impact on the community. So it's kind of like a thing where it's like EPA, we have this thing that you virtually gave us some money. Please help us out for phase 2, phase 3, phase 4.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Jesus.
You scared me. Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know is how is this going to help us get better?
Gotta get the plan first.
Yeah. That's
So-
always true.
So this may be, I want to say, kind of a dumb question. Who's going to be collecting the information?
So, a team of people, in our budget, we have budgeted one staff position that we will hire for. Additionally, we have budgeted contractual services to assist with collection and modeling of greenhouse gas emissions and reductions. So, and in addition to that, there's going to be a stakeholder and community engagement group that
Okay.
would more broadly provide feedback for the plan.
Okay, good. I know you can't pick and choose, but I'm kind of with Councilor Abbott with North Birmingham. They really need a lot of help and attention. I think they cry out the most when they come to council meeting on the speakers list. But I'm excited to see this. Do the committee members have? Oh, Councilor Abbott, what? You know, this is your thing.
I mean, just every question brings up another one. So right now, the Jefferson County Health Department does a lot of that air pollution collection or testing, whatever. Will they be involved in this?
Absolutely, we plan to meet with them shortly, in the coming weeks.
So then they would get some more testing equipment and go around town and
Potentially.
potentially, well, maybe they wouldn't be the ones, but I wondered if they were involved, so thank you. No more questions.
Madam President.
Maybe this might be the last one.
It's okay.
When you talk about the position that's part of the grant, give me a little bit about the skill set for this. Is this data collection? Is this any technical assistance or?
Sure, so we're kind of looking for a couple things. One, someone that can help assist with regional coordination, because again, this is a regional plan. Two, someone that has a background in environmental advocacy, environmental planning, greenhouse gas modeling, anything along those lines. And three, planning, leading a major planning effort. But those are kind of our top priorities for our position.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't have any more questions. Is there a motion for approval?
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5 passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is item number 8.
I can't see this big TV in the way. Ms. Janice Walker, IEL, presented today.
And that's dealing with the termination of a deed imposed by the city of Birmingham on property known as the Daniel Payne Industrial Park. Hey, how are you doing?
Hi. Thank you, Councilors. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
This item that we're asking your support on for today is, was a sale of property that we did back in 2019 and actually closed on it in 2020. The company, within the deed, there were some restrictions that they had to perform. These items have been done. They've completed the building and everything that was required in those deed restrictions, and so they are asking to have those removed at this time. So that's, Keith is here from the OCA if there's any legal questions.
Council Abbott.
Yeah, one question, and the reason that I didn't put this on consent. So what is the benefit, since they've actually executed all of the, I mean, they've done what they were supposed to do. So they've met all the requirements, so what is the point of removing them when the requirements have been met?
Is that mainly because it's on the title that way, and this way they can clear the title?
Jim Stanley's here as well.
Oh, Jim.
I'm not familiar with this particular restriction, but typically, they require that a certain size building be developed in a certain amount of time, and the city has rights to reclaim the property if that's not done. So for future sales or financing, they're going to want to their buyer or their lender to know, we've satisfied that, the city can't come in and take the property back in the future if you try to, if we sell it or refinance it. So it is for title purposes.
So this is just an easier and cleaner and more legal way than us writing them a letter and saying we've satisfied all the requirements and.
They want something that they can record in the probate records.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's-
Madam President, I don't have any questions. Okay. Is there a motion for
I move
approval?
approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 8 passes. Next item is item number 9.
Mr. Wilson?
Hey,
Good afternoon, I'm Monique Schwartz, and I serve as Senior Program Manager for the Innovation Economic Opportunity Department. I'm here today to introduce our first candidate for RISE, which stands for Recruitment, Incentives, and Success for Expansion. This ordinance was adopted to support small business growth and development. Birmingham, we do it in 3 ways. We retain and expand their employee base, we support new startups that create at least 5 full-time jobs, and this also is for small business who previously declined for a loan. Thanks for your support, we're not able to use these funds. So SoCo Birmingham was located in the food hall. It's a black-owned restaurant by a female, and Erica Barrett owns SoCo, and she's here today seeking RISE funding to expand her team and her operations. Since opening in Birmingham, she's also opened Doughboy Pizzeria and also Tins and Juniors, which is a New York style deli. So she's continuing to invest in our food scene, and she's here today for our support. And she's also here if you have any questions.
yeah, is she? Hey, come on up.
Y'all good on the RISE program?
Okay. Hey, just state your name and,
One second.
Just a recap on Ryan's,
Yeah.
just a real, the elevator speech about.
I'll bring
Ryan's.
up, Mr. Corey, take it out. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Chief. Yeah.
Okay, so RISE stands for Recruitment, Incentives, or Success and Expansion, and we help support businesses in 3 ways. They expand or retain their employee base, they help startups that can at least create 5 full-time jobs, or a small business when decline for a loan. So that's the whole point of the ordinance back in
Yeah.
last
And
year.
the funds that come from the sale of property, on anything that the council approved from, and a portion of that goes into the actual RISE program.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erica Barrett.
Yes, Madam President, do you have any questions?
Well, I am happy, the reason I wanted to talk about RISE again is just for the public to understand what the council has approved and set forward to help businesses such as yours. And also, we know that entertainment, good eating is very important, or is at the crux of the model that IEO, as well as our Convention Visitors Bureau, to give people opportunity to have good dining, good experiences when they come. So just tell me, I know we talked about the 3, tenets that go along with getting this. What would this do for your business from its current state to where you want it to go? How would you utilize it?
Absolutely. So for us, it would help us create 30 more jobs for employees and to expand. Since we've been in Birmingham over the past 18 months, we've created 3 concepts and put them in the Pizzitz Food Hall, 2 fast casual. One is I Love Tina's and Gina's. The second is Doughboy, which we built that flagship model here in Birmingham and have now grown to 15 franchises nationwide. And then for SoCo, which is our full service restaurant, it will create 30 more jobs.
And would this also increase your capacity just for dining? You're putting all 30 jobs into SoCo, or is this within your?
It will be all into SoCo.
Okay.
So outside on our patio, we have 72 seats. Of course, with, payroll expenses and attracting great employees, we want to be able to have, more servers, more people in the back of the house that can handle the production for us to be able to service people on the outside as well.
Thank you.
Councilor Abbott?
Actually, you answered all my questions.
Yeah, I was about to say, Madam President asked some good questions, so.
Except, what's your first name?
My first name is Erica.
I could see your last name, but I couldn't see your first name. Okay, well, that was it.
Okay,
That's my question.
where's that? Is there a motion for approval?
Move in approval, second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 9 passes. Thank you. Good luck. Next item is item number 10.
Good afternoon again, councilors. Janice Jane Stothard. I serve as real estate manager in the Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. Today, we're asking your support for the sale of properties to CHP. Herschel Hamilton is, I guess, one of the key members of principals of CHP. He's also here to help answer any questions that you may have about their business. They have your headquarters office is already relocated near the property, adjacent to the property. So they're needing to get this, the additional properties to expand and to be able to do development of leasing of some other businesses, like incubator type businesses.
Right.
Okay, Councilor Abbott, do you have any questions?
Okay, yeah, I did, I don't have as many as I had, but, so we're going to sell these, I assume vacant lots at 700, 712, and 714, and then you're gonna build a building.
That's
on
correct.
them. And it's going to be for an incubator?
No, I mean, there may be some business incubation. Let me share a couple of things with you. So this information is about, and there's another piece in there. So that's the property that we purchased about a year and a half ago. And we purchased and redeveloped the building into a place for our office. So the completed photograph is of the building as it exists today. The before photo was a building as we purchased it. It's right at 1520 7th Avenue North. In the phase 2 photo, in the foreground, you see a greenfield site. That's a parcel that the city of Birmingham owns. And so what we propose to do on that site is develop a mixed-use project, which will be a combination of food service, retail, and office. It could have a residential component, but at this point, we're not certain. We're gonna really flesh a lot of it out during the due diligence period. These are just some renderings. Again, this is primarily massing diagrams, so don't get hung up on design. But it's a 2-story building, approximately 10,000 square feet that we propose to develop. Again, it's immediately adjacent to our office building. And we have properties on either side of us under contract because we plan to further develop in that area of the Civil Rights District. As you know, the Civil Rights District is underdeveloped. And, in 2003, my partner and I started our business in the Ballard House, upstairs in the Ballard House, right at 1420 7th Avenue North. So we see this as kind of coming full circle. And not only have we developed a building for our offices, we plan to develop a series of other projects in that immediate area as well. And so this is a parcel that the city owns that we're interested in acquiring to further develop, additional projects and facilities for that particular district.
Do you have any more questions?
I'm good.
Okay, Madam President.
Phyllis, if I'm good, tell me again what you said, multi-use, so
Yeah, a combination of retail, food service and retail primarily, because if you think about the district, when people come visit the Institute, the church, and various other places, no significant food service opportunities for them in that area. And so that's one of the things that we want to solve. As we're talking with prospective tenants about going into this space and other spaces, everybody asks us what are the creature comforts that exist in the area. And so they don't really exist at this point. And so I see the director of the Civil Rights Institute. When we moved down there, I walked up and down the block. The only place I can find a Coke or a soda is in the gift shop at the Institute right now.
Oh, wow.
And so, we've got to solve for those kind of things. And so that's what we propose to do with this development and other developments that we will be involved in this area.
Okay. Council Abbott, did you have
We
more
need
questions?
ice cream.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
We need ice cream, or frozen yogurt.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
frozen custard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or gelato, right?
Yeah.
I'll take anything as long as it's cold.
Yeah, I agree. If you think about the major museums all over the country, they usually have some type of restaurant inside or nearby, so I never thought about that. Well, I knew it, but anyways, is there a motion for approval?
I move approval.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 10 passes. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you very much.
Next item is item number 18.
Well, I think Chief Moon is in the back. That can come to there you go. I can see from over.
Afternoon, Council.
Hey,
Corey Moore, Service Fire Chief, Fire Fire Rescue. Item before you is basically an addendum to previously approved lease purchase agreement with Stryker. If you recall, back in 2020, we changed the way we purchase EMS equipment. Instead of being strapped with equipment for 15, 20 years, we decided to do a lease purchase program so that we can make sure we have the most up-to-date EMS equipment. So back then, we got rid of all of our outdated life-saving equipment and did a 10-year lease purchase agreement for $510,000. So now what we're doing, that replaced all the equipment on our frontline apparatus. With this will replace all of the life-saving equipment on our reserve, special event units, because we staff over 1,200 special events throughout the city each year. So you also need to prepare for the World Police and Fire Games. So this is adding about $2.5 million worth of new life-saving equipment, Lucas devices, life pack 15s, AEDs. So it's just increasing that payment from $510,000 per year to $870,040.65.
okay. Madam President, do you have any questions?
I have a question. I was going to say,
Okay, Council Abbott.
Well, my question was, it says here that Stryker Sales Corporation is a sole source and the only supplier of these unique products. Is that, defibrillators, I would think there would be lots of people who would make those. So is this, are they a sole source because they have a lease purchase program?
It's the type of equipment, it's not similar equipment that you would have in the city hall, it's the type of equipment that they have.
It's a very specialized type of equipment just for fire departments, not for just the commercial, the general public.
Okay, so, and they're the only ones that make it in the whole wide world? Okay, that's fine. I was just surprised to hear you couldn't buy a defibrillator from a whole lot of different people, but other emergency medical service products might be the key. So now that I understand, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, is there a motion for approval?
I move approval.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 18 passes. Thank you, Chief.
Happy belated birthday, President.
Thank you. Item 20.
Okay, I'll take this one.
I'm gonna say Dawn is
So
here.
there's the one, you stood up. But I helped out, Council, Madam President, Pro Tem Council Abbott. If you recall in our budget discussions that the mayor said that we need to put more money into most of our facilities. BCRI is no different than any of the other ones that we deal with on a daily, yearly, monthly, whatever you want to say basis. So within the city's budget, we included another $1 million allocation to them in order to keep their facility up to the standards and in order to have the museum of the magnitude that they have. So they have a list that they provided us as they do yearly with their financial report. It's just some, everything from mostly cosmetic things that they need, some air conditioning units, because it is an active museum that has artifacts, some other things that DeWanda can probably speak more deeply than I can, but I know this is our effort to try to maintain the things that we have. So what's before you is just an amendment to the $1 million allocation that we already give them for the operational side. This one, additional $1 million is just for the maintenance and repairs and some capital improvement funds that they need.
Okay. Council Abbott?
Yeah, and that was my question is what are you going to do with this money? And then I also wanted to know who is going to do the work? Will it be a standard city project where the city bids it out and does all the usual?
So it depends on what it is, depending on the vast, let's say it's a whole new HVAC unit, we will work with them and do like specific RFP or a bid for that. But if she wanted to do something with replacing doors, that's all on BCRI. We wouldn't get that deep into the woods and the nuts and bolts of that stuff.
What I can say, just if I might, Councilman Fabry, is that what we did was have an architecture firm, multiple architecture firms actually, come in and do a complete assessment of the building. What we know is that we have what they call at least $7 million worth of immediate projects to bring the building completely up to code. But it's a 30-year-old building, right? And we know that through maintenance and what the city has done and through our own efforts, the building is still standing, and we're thankful for that. But as we move forward, there are systems that have begun to atrophy. So the HVAC system, we have continual mold issues, different things that, you know, impact the ability for people to come in the doors every single day. Meanwhile, at the same time, we know that it's not a good use financially of our operating dollars, which should be going towards programming, community projects, the school systems that we support every year, to then, you know, turn that around and use it to update a chiller. So we have identified that work. We do have companies many of them are partners with the city already, and we're working in hand with the Public Works Department. We have the monthly meetings with them and our monthly team, so they are very coordinated in terms of what needs to happen and prioritizing what needs to happen. Particularly one of the projects on here is that all of our external doors, most of them, are not as secure as we would like them to be because the actual bolts have atrophied. So we actually have to change out all of the external doors of the Institute. What that means is that we've had to beef up security in other ways, right? And so these things, when they have not been addressed over years, have allowed us to get to a point where we just need to address them. But we have identified them, and they're not just wish lists, they are actual things that we need to have done immediately. This first movie, because we're coming back for us. Y'all will see us again very soon.
Madam President?
Yes, thank you very much. I was just up there last week. Thank you. I did want to ask, for the list that you provided, are you tapped out already at the million? And so like you're saying, you probably come back to it. Absolutely.
It has 7 years.
Right, I think the reality is, again, 30 years of a facility that has had much mission and activation. When you're looking at a roof, we have a beautiful dome structure, but that dome, the gadgets and the different things that happen to keep it from being leak-proof, they just begin to atrophy. So you can't really address that with one thing. You actually have to take the whole roof. That particular project cost something. And so what we did with the mayor's team and the team that came in to assess the immediate building was to look at what happens if we don't address these items in the next 90 days to 1 year. So these are 1-year projects that we will absolutely be able to see go to fruition, to term, that will address key issues that we have. For instance, we have the Smithsonian Men of Change exhibit coming. It is one of the largest exhibits that the Smithsonian has done in quite a long time. In order for us to bid for that, we had to show that we had temperature controls in the building. We almost didn't get it because we didn't have it. So we had to contact the city and they were working with us to make sure we have it. But those are the kinds of things that will not allow us to do our job if we don't address them right now. Thank you.
Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, this is wonderful. You know, I said I was gonna stay on the council until the city finally maintained something it owned. And it looks like, you know, we're taking some little steps here.
Baby steps.
So, you know, y'all might be able to get rid of me pretty soon because, you know, I mean, if we keep going in the right direction, that guy who scared you a few minutes ago, you have to talk to him.
Yeah, I'm scared of him. I'm very big on taking care of our stuff, especially infrastructure. We're an older city, we have older buildings, but we do need to take care. I totally agree.
But we don't. You know, and that's the problem is everything we've got is falling apart, including the Highland Tennis Center. So, you know, we've got lots of things that are falling apart. The Civil Rights Institute's just one of them. But, you know, I realize the bright, shining objects are attractive, but the routine stuff has to be done.
We have a solution for Highland. You should be getting a report on that too.
That's good, because I went over and looked at it, and it was like, heck.
We did a nice little walkthrough for about 2 hours and something.
Yeah, 2 hours in the sun,
Oh.
that'll make you,
Oh, wow.
that'll make you do, darling.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for the great job you've done with the Institute too. So, is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, that item passes. Thank you.
I wasn't gonna give them if y'all didn't do this, no. We appreciate it. And we'll send the ones for the full council.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. Okay, yeah, so we have some addendum items, counselors, right here. So, I guess this will be item 29. The first one, the first addendum, which I guess will be item 29, is, from Council Abbott, your discretionary funding, or is a request seeking a budget ordinance to transfer funds totaling about $30,000 from Councilor Abbott's account to the following neighborhood association accounts.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
How'd that get on here?
Oh, yay.
Okay, well, it looks accurate, $30,001.
That $1. Okay, what is that motion for approval?
I move approval.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, that item passes. Next item, Chief Mitchell gave us about 4 of these, 3 or 4.
So this is one of those opportunities that, we get every once in a while, but unfortunately come at the last minute, that we like to act on it because it's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities that we get with the Army Corps of Engineers to try and solve a lot of our stormwater flooding issues in certain high spots within the city of Birmingham. I bring up Ms. Tracy Hayes, who's one of our deputy directors of EEP, that can talk about this opportunity of getting this grant from the feds to kind of help us alleviate a lot of these flooding issues.
Thank you, Chief.
Hey,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Tracy Hayes, I serve as Deputy Director. And I have with me our Chief Civil Engineer, and he's gonna explain this.
If I can come through it, I'm Kelly Dunn, I serve as Chief Civil Engineer for PEP. Like was mentioned, this is a unique opportunity we found late in the system. It's got to be applied for by the 23rd of this month. There are several grant opportunities that the Corps of Engineers is offering, that there's a substantial amount of money that's offered in each one of these. And we qualify that we know of for 3 different opportunities. Each one of these opportunities consists of, if the numbers remember, $10 million apiece, that will allow us to possibly obtain funding to get some of our hotspots that we have that may not get funded any other way, because they're large projects that's going to take a lot of money. One of the ones is the flooding issue that continuously happens in the Avondale area. This is an opportunity to allow us to do the construction and finalize the design. We've got it estimated right now around $3 million, and it could help tremendously. Each one of these, I did step over one step, each one of these grant opportunities is 100% funded by the city. So there's no funds that the city of Birmingham will have to come up with at all.
Oh, that's great.
Another one that we have is the Morris Avenue culvert upgrade. Because over the years, that area has flooded tremendously, and it's very expensive to fix. It's another one that's approximately $3 million to do the final design plus construction. And then another one, we have an opportunity to look in the area around UAB VA hospital area, 19th Street. There's a culvert there that is undersized, that needs to be increased, and the only way is to add an additional culvert in there. And that's one that, with the final design and everything, will run about $1.5 million. And then we have a feasibility study that we're looking at that we know is an issue from Winona High School to the railroad tracks north of Jefferson Avenue. It's approximately 4,500 feet that we just started looking at this year. And we're looking at going after about $500,000 to do a study of that and get a design put together so that we can come up with a fix for that.
Okay. How did you all identify these areas?
Basically, we just looked at what the most expensive fixes were, and we figured this would be the best opportunity to get some of those off the list before they out there on.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Okay. Madam President?
Thank you. You actually answered the question I wanted, because of course, I went straight to the south. And so I am excited to see this particular area that you're targeting. And so again, you're saying it's because of price. And I guess the best way to utilize this money, if we get it, and we don't have to put any type of,
No, 100%.
no match with it.
That's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very unique opportunity, and we found out about it late in the game, and we hit it hard trying to come up with some stuff that we knew could really benefit the city as a whole. And the one that in the Southwest community, we threw it in there because that is going to involve work with the railroad. Because there's two areas that the culverts under the railroad are part of the problem. So we've got to come up with a fix and get them on board also.
Thank you.
Counselor Abbott?
Yeah, I haven't read this, so I don't really have any questions yet. I realize the time constraints that we're under, so I don't want to slow anything down, but I like to read things before I get to the meeting. I'm sure everybody else does too. So we're just counting on y'all.
We
I
can
know-
still
I
ask
know-
some questions at council meeting, right?
Yeah, after this, but this is good stuff. I mean, free money. I love free money.
And for flooding, because I know we get interview questions a lot, and so now we can kind of tell them what the next steps are with stormwater and flooding, so I'm excited about this. Okay,
I live in Brooklyn.
I think this will be more, we'll just mark it all as like item 30. And then we can put A as north side, B as, what is this? South side, C as southwest, and then D as Avondale. Okay.
Southwest is what? Yeah, see?
Avondale is D, part D, for item 30.
I haven't found it yet, but I will. Well, what's this one that's East Birmingham, Red Mountain, and Woodlawn? Is that just the overview?
That's one for Avondale neighborhood.
Oh, this is Avondale.
Yeah.
East Birmingham, Red Mountain, and Woodlawn.
What is that one, Councilman?
D.
Madam Chair, just because we know that the deadlines, if it was something down there, if we can have this office in the so we can get it submitted to the Army Corps, if you don't mind. I know we know we love you for it, Avondale will love you for it, Central City will love you for it, I will love you for it.
I have to go back and look at my notes, but I know two people in Southwest that really appreciate it.
What is it? Yes, we definitely will. Thank you.
We apologize, it's one of those opportunities, we don't want to miss.
All right, thank you.
I'm not really sure.
I
Can we redo
moved
it?
approval, I thought you.
Okay, well, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those items pass. Well, those parts for item 30, A through D pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have any more old or new business. I think we're good. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, August 28th at 3:30 p.m. Is there a motion for adjournment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.